occurs when you do not have power. When you're a little kid, when you're 4 years old, you're a little girl, you're 7, or you're 9, or you're even 12. You don't have physical or mental or emotional tools yet. Your brain isn't developed. Your body hasn't developed. You cannot protect yourself. As an adult, when you stay stuck with that thinking that you're still powerless or that you're still 4, when you're actually a grown man with a lot of skills and with a mental capacity to re-perceive your options, and to redefine your emotional response to those stimuli that are in your environment and whatnot. When you realize, and I swear to God, Ethan, I've got clients that don't know. They even when speaking of some of these experiences, they regress right in front of me as a therapist with their voice, with their physical features. They will regress because it's a need to be able to define what's going on. And sometimes I have to say, where are you going? Where are you going? How old are you right now? I'll get for my clients. I'm 9, and it's like, okay, let's keep going and find out. But yeah, the goal is to take that. Let me back up. Anxiety is a catastrophic expectation of the
Okay. Yes.
Maybe not catastrophic, but at least a negative anticipation of something in the future. Before anxiety was the big word, it was worry. You're a worry wart.
Yeah.
We all know worry warts. We all know the person that's going to just, you see it on the news. Don't forget to hydrate. We all know we're going to hydrate. It's 125 degrees out there. Don't forget to bring your life preserver. There's a shark.
Grab a jacket. It might rain tonight.
Yeah, today I saw, hey, there's a shark in the water off Huntington Beach. Stay out of the water. I'm going, they don't like people. They just make sure they know you're a human. You'll be all right. Just put your ugly mug in front of its eyes and so it won't eat you. They don't like people. They have much better taste than eating one of us. Birds. But anyway, so if anxiety is a negative anticipation or something in the future that's going to bring negative consequences into my life, and that's based on my past experiences, what does that do to me in the present right now? It has me nervous and anxious, and this is where the need to reduce the symptoms in the present. This is where, I know I shouldn't be smoking weed today, but I've had a tough day, and so I know I shouldn't be drinking at night during the week by myself in my mom's basement. People don't know what a basement is out here. But it's when you look realistically at the type of things that you're anticipating negative consequences, I can almost absolutely guarantee you that those consequences aren't going to be as bad, even if the worst happens.
Yeah.
Most of what we are afraid of is absolutely amplified. And you know why we do that? So that when something bad does happen, we can feel like we're in control. I knew this was going to happen. Therefore, I must have a good brain and I must be in control. That's why people don't just live and let live. They don't just relax and let things unfold. It's because you're giving up an opportunity to be in control by anticipating something negative. And when the negative thing doesn't happen, you still feel like you're in control because now you feel safe. Nothing negative happened. So you get to win both ways, except you're a miserable son of a bitch to be around.
I mean, there's a quote, edit this out if I'm wrong, but I'm paraphrasing. I think it was Mark Twain. A coward dies 1,000 deaths versus a brave man who only dies once.
Yeah.
Because a coward dies in their head, they see 1,000 ways that they could die.
Yeah.
And as we just got through talking about, your brain registers all of that anxiety.
Right.
You've talked about a fish in a blender theory, which I'll ask you in just a second. But yeah, a coward dies 1,000 times in their own head. versus a brave man when you just go out and you do. And we are far more capable than we tend to give ourselves credit for. Anxiety likes to eat at our confidence and tell us that we aren't capable of handling situations that you can probably handle. Now, sometimes the anxiety itself gets in the way of being able to handle the situation where you would have otherwise been able to handle it. And then the anxiety gets in the way and you second guess yourself, and then you no longer are able to handle it.
Yeah, just on a very, very physiological level, there's an inverse relationship between cognitive skill and emotional distress. Yeah. So inverse meaning the more emotional distress, the less cognitive skill you will have.
I like,
and vice versa. The more cognitive skill you develop, remember, cognitive skills are problem solving, decision making, perception, appropriate self-talk, analysis, etc. Yeah, the truth is, the better you are with your cognitive developed skills, the more able you will be to manage your emotional distress. And when I say emotional distress, I'm talking about the emotions that give you a sense that you're not as in control as you want to be. It's very healthy to want to be in control. Yeah. It's very healthy to want to be able to manage your emotions. If you don't feel like you can manage your emotions without drugs and without alcohol, you don't own your life. Yeah. You don't. You have handed it over to wherever you've handed it over to the drugs and to the alcohol, but worse, to the people that you hang out with that have done the same thing. Because now they're talking to you too and telling you what's good and what's bad and what's up and what's down. Yeah. You're just absolutely falling into the abyss.
I mean, you can talk to just about any addict and they will explain how, I feel like the best way to put it, it's, you have that craving for alcohol, but it's the best way to put it in layman's terms is your thoughts are constantly gearing themselves towards the substance or the substance. So if you're an alcoholic, your primary thought is how I'm going to drink. Secondary thought is what I'm going to do, if that makes sense. So it's not what am I going to do this day? It's when do I get off of work? Where am I going to go drink? And then what am I going to do?
Yeah.
It's, and it's just the primary motivating factor. It's alcohol pops in, and it's not something that you think about consciously. It's almost, it just shows up. It's almost instinctive because that's where the addiction has taken over your life.
Well, yeah, it's like breathing. It's like driving a car.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what a lot of people that don't have the compulsion or the craving or the addiction to do a certain thing, to drink, to even the process addictions like gambling or even working out or sex or any number of behavioral addictions. And there are behavioral addictions. They become diversionary. They become distractions from something that you would otherwise not feel. So when you talk about a craving is an absolute intense urge to change the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's all a craving is. If it's a craving for a chocolate, you can just feel that taste in your mouth, and then you have the belief that my life is miserable until I satisfy this urge.
Piece is missing from my life right
that's
now.
A craving, and that's in drug lingo. Heroin addicts talk about jonesing, which is another word for. I'm not real. There's an explanation for where that word evolved. I can't remember it right now, but craving, jonesing. It's like I don't think my brain will leave me alone until I go and satisfy this need.
An obsession with that in that moment.
This compulsive. It's a compulsion, and the obsession is the thought part of it. The compulsion is the physiological need in the person's head. It really isn't a need. It's just an intense want.
Yeah.
And that's where people get confused. I need a drink. I need a fix. I need a joint. I need some chocolate. I need to go shopping. I need to do a podcast with Ethan. Whatever it is, when you start using the word need, it takes craving to a new level. And you're going to follow through on that, you know, unless you're held against your will by whatever. So, you know, people really, when I say people in general don't understand the intensity of what we're talking about. It's an incredible magnetic pull in a direction. Is it the individual's fault? Yes and no. Because like if you are traumatized and your history of traumatization begins before you can make decisions or you have the authority to manage your own life as a child or an adolescent, then you could say the addiction or the compulsion, the obsessional thinking in order to manage those symptoms is a normal outcome